So number three is to check your environment. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? If they're not pushing you to be better, then you need to limit your time on it. So many times we're so stuck on watching Netflix and YouTube videos and Hulu. We'll spend hours scrolling on Instagram and Facebook. I'm guilty, very guilty of that. But it's like, how are those things benefiting you as a person? And also, when it comes to your environment, how does your environment look like? Is it cluttered? Is it unorganized? Is it a place that's not peaceful? Like, for me personally, my room is my sanctuary. Like, there are times my room is messy, but at the same time, lately I've been on some clean stuff. Like, I make sure that I clean my room every day. Like, if one thing is out of order, I have to fix it that same moment I see it's out of order. Like, I'm preparing myself to be in a clean environment so that when God, you know, gives me the keys to my new place, I'm already like at a level where I know that my home is gonna be clean. Like, my bathroom has been clean. I'm surprised at myself. My car, I make sure that I clean up my car every other day. I won't lie and say every day, but every other day, maybe once a week. I'll make sure that everything is cleaned out, that it smells good, that it looks good. Even my phone, like, I gotta make sure I clean out my phone because I have like 18,000 pictures and videos in total, and I need to start cleaning it out. I screenshot a lot, and so that needs to get cleaned out too. I'm working on it. It's a long process, but it's slowly but surely getting there. My laptop, my social media, like, y'all, the people that you follow is so important. I try to follow like more godly influencers, more like women entrepreneurs, and just people who I hope to like learn from, because I feel like if you're not learning from the people that you're following, why are you following them? Now, if it's close friends or family, that's different. But I'm talking about like certain celebrities and certain like famous people. That's the same thing. Like certain like influencers. That's such a tough word. Influencers, creatives, like what are you gaining from following them? So that's really what I've been on, just like cleaning your environment. In order to be ready to receive what God has for you, you definitely got to make room for it. So how are you preparing for what God has for you? Number four is to check your circle. Understand that you need to stop letting people place their limitations on you. There are so many times we try to think big, we try to think outside the box, and whenever you share that with someone, they kind of like shut it down, like, oh, it's too big for you to accomplish, or you'll never get there, or it's too hard. And it's just like, you got to peep how people react when you share your dreams and your goals with them, because if they're not pushing you to accomplish them, if they're not encouraging you, just take note of that. And I promise you, like, you'll begin to realize how many people aren't really with you, which is okay. But at the same time, you have to make the decision as to whether you want to keep them really close to you or if you want to keep them at a distance and just love them from a distance. Can't be prideful. Know that you can't do this alone. God never intended for us to go through life alone. And if you can't learn from those closest to you, like I said, then you definitely got to do some spring cleaning. If your friends aren't helping you to elevate in any way, then you have to do some spring cleaning. Be around people that support your crazy ideas, that'll be right there planning that crazy business plan, planning that crazy 5-year 10-year plan, that 2-year plan to be exactly where you want to be in that amount of time that you set. Find your circle of people, invest in them, nurture your relationships with them, hold them accountable, and work together. Your team, your circle is your foundation, because like the top, like, there's a quote. Y'all know I love quotes. Something that says like the top 5 people that you hang around or talk to, they're a representation of who you are and where you are right now. And so I'm just being very mindful of like who I talk to on a daily, who I spend my time, investing in, and, just talking to in general. Like, I can't stress how important that is, because yes, it's okay to be friendly. Yes, it's okay to be there for people. Yes, it's okay to talk to your friends, but just be mindful of who's in your like close circle. Because it's one thing to have like friends, and it's another thing to have a circle. That means like your team of people that you have to talk to on a daily, because they keep you on your toes. They make sure that you're doing whatever it is that you say that you're going to do, or working towards those goals on a daily basis. Not friends that'll say, oh yes, I'm rooting for you, then they never talk to you again about your goals, but they're quick to invite you to go somewhere. They'll push you to spend money on something that's probably not relevant to you in the moment. Like, they'll find different ways to distract you without them even knowing that they're even distracting you. But if you don't like peep it now and just like shut it down right then and there, I don't know. I really don't know if I'm making sense, but hopefully I am. But just be mindful of your circle. You know, I love everybody no matter what, but I've learned to just like figure out who do I want to become and who do I have to be around more to be exactly where I want to be, and also to become the person that I want to become. Not even just for my glory, because I can care less about my glory, but it's just like for God's glory, because God has shown me like the people who I need to keep around, the people who I need to mentor, the people who I need to follow, and so much more, the people that I need to lead, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just being like obedient when it comes to that. It's hard for me to find my words sometimes, but yeah, seek Christ and he'll tell you exactly who you need to keep around you. Trust me. And last but not least, number 5 is to check your actions. Understand that we are not where we want to be because we lack accountability, consistency, and discipline. I have accountability. I'm good at that personally. Discipline, consistency is my biggest issue, but lately it's been like getting on point. So find the area that you lack in and just work at it daily. That's all it is. You got to keep it simple. And I also said you can screenshot all the quotes you want. You can follow as many influencers. You can listen and watch as many motivational stuff as you want. You can manifest all you want. You can have all the faith in the world. But it is nothing if you are not executing what you hope to accomplish. Because faith without works is dead. Faith is great, don't get me wrong. Visualize where you want to be. But if you're not putting in the work, sweetheart, you are not going to get anywhere. Do your part. Make a routine and stick to it by any means necessary. Do what works for you and keep it simple. One thing I've learned, let me tell y'all, what works for this person may not work for me. One person who I look up to is Eric Thomas. This man wakes up at 3 a.m. every day and puts in work. He is a motivational speaker, a preacher, and he's so encouraging. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be just like Eric Thomas. I'm going to wake up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, and hopefully I'll be where he is now. I tried. Listen, y'all, I hit the snooze button as soon as it rung. I did it once where I actually woke up at 3 a.m., did a couple hours of productivity, went right back to sleep. The next day, I did not repeat it. I turned off all my alarms for that day because it didn't work for me. I'm not a 3 a.m. person. I'm more of like a late night worker. Like I'll like go to sleep at 3 a.m. versus waking up at 3 a.m. Or I'd rather wake up at 6 a.m. versus waking up at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to do what works for you. And find what you like to do. Find what you'll be comfortable with doing. And just do it that way. Don't worry about everybody else. And also, God is not limited by our small thinking. He is limited by our small obedience. With obedience comes favor. So many times we're scared. We know our calling. We know what God wants us to do, but we're not doing our part because we are limiting God. If you say you serve a big God, then live like you serve a big God. Like, stop being so scared. Stop being disobedient. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want God to show up for you, you have to do your part. God already did his part. He already blessed you. It's just waiting for you. But if, like I said, if you don't put in the work, it's never going to come. So I just pray that you guys just make it. I want you guys to really be prepared for what God has for you. Next video, we're going to pray, and that'll be it for tonight.